What's up, everybody, and welcome into Studio Day Heffrey. It is a day for takeaways from the Mike McCarthy press conference yesterday, new Dallas Cowboys coach, and he is the hero that we deserve, is what I want to start with. My first point of interest is Mike McCarthy talking about analytics, which is something that Jason Garrett openly admitted. We don't use that stuff in game. And I tell you what, Mike McCarthy a couple years ago was probably right there with him. And I'm super glad that his year and change off has given him time to realize what's going on in the NFL and which way things are headed. And his answer, Gavin Dawson and I kind of disagreed on it at first because I don't think he's always the most eloquent speaker. So there were some uhs and some stops and starts. But I think ultimately he gave the ideal answer. If you want analytics implemented into your sports, which you should. It changed the NBA. It changed Major League Baseball. And I think we're all just cocky, maybe, arrogant, to think that it can't help in the NFL. Like, I'm a tape guy, so I guess I understand when it's like, no, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. Well, I watch it. I'm watching tape right now of college guys getting ready for this draft. But Mike McCarthy's got the right handle on it, I think, when he talks about, yes, I understand the value. Yes, I went to the Pro Football Focus headquarters and went through some things with them, and I've been studying these trends. But what matters is how do you implement it on Sunday? And he made mention of that, where it's like, listen, there's a lot of information. You have to figure out exactly what is the most important. How much do you want to give to your players? How much do you want on their plate? How much is it going to influence play calling? But that seed is planted, and it's planted with the Joneses. Because when Garrett said we don't use that stuff on game day, it was never going to come down from on high that Jerry and Steven were going to say, no, we have to. That was never going to happen. Garrett was their coach, their football guy, the guy who decided how all that was going to play out. So you had to find a head coach that was going to put that in front of the owner and the GM and Steven and basically insist on it and create it himself. It wasn't going to come from the GM like it should. So it had to come from the head coach. So I love that Mike McCarthy is in on the analytics. Rejoice, my fellow nerds. He is the hero we deserve. Now, moving on. They also asked who is going to be the play caller for the team. And he didn't want to say anything about building out his staff yet until that's announced. He didn't want to say anything about who's going to be the play caller, but he added a little nugget there at the end, if you were paying attention, when he said, but we'll do it the way that I've always done it. Mike McCarthy's always called his plays. Outside of part of 1 year, Mike McCarthy's always called his plays. So if you didn't like Kellen Moore calling plays last year, congrats. It's going to be Mike McCarthy. They don't have to say it yet, but they will. Mike McCarthy's going to call the plays, and Kellen will help him with the game plan throughout the week. It'll still be a group collaborative effort, but it'll be Mike McCarthy calling the plays, which I'm totally cool with. The other thing that was very curious to me was what kind of defense are they going to run? Go through their defensive line, and how many guys are actually still under contract? Tank Lawrence, Antoine Woods is an exclusive rights free agent, and Tristan Hill's under contract. Dorrance Armstrong's under contract. Joe Jackson's under contract. I guess Daniel Wise, my guy on the practice squad. But they don't have a ton. So are they going to run a 4-3 or a 3-4? When he was asked about that, he said the same thing as he said with play calling, except without a hint at the end. He just said, that's something that we want to announce our staff, finish our staff, and then we'll figure that stuff out. I think it would have been really easy to say, well, they've been a 4-3 team, they're going to be a 4-3 team, but he didn't. And so I would keep your head on a swivel. I would be on the lookout. This thing might be changing, and maybe it's not a definitive, oh, we're 4-3, or we're 3-4. Maybe it's a little bit hybrid. Maybe it's we do what we do from play to play. And it really doesn't matter anyway, because 75% of the time you're a nickel, and everybody runs a 4-2. You know what I'm saying? And finally, the free agent that's going to be back, Randall Cobb was at the press conference. Jerry Jones talked to him afterwards and told him he didn't want him to get, homesick or... Yeah, he didn't want him to get homesick around here, so he brought him Mike McCarthy, and McCarthy shouted out Randall Cobb during the presser. So I should probably not worry too much about receivers, at least too early in this draft as I'm going through and studying for this draft class, because it sounds like Randall Cobb will probably be back unless he gets some kind of super offer from somewhere. But it's his old coach. Seems like Jerry likes him. Seems like the team's happy with what he did last year. So I would get ready for Randall Cobb to be back this season with the Cowboys, and I'm cool with that too, but we are going to have to reload at some point, but that'll probably allow us to focus on the secondary, which I'll do videos about. Oh, and the draft show is today at 11 o'clock, so if you're seeing this video early today, check out DallasCowboys.com. Be doing the draft show. Trust the Tape, myself and Brian Broaddus. That will be starting next Wednesday, so check wherever you get your podcast for that. Check 1053thefan.com. And, of course, please subscribe to the YouTube page. And today in the comments, leave me, who do you want the Cowboys? Now, what position do you want the Cowboys to focus on in the NFL draft? It's a party, and I'm outie.